Good times ahead. All right, so let's talk about some wins. Who's got something they want to share? Joan, you're gonna have to come into this room.
I have two closings, both of them are referrals. One is a very dear friend of mine who referred her cousin who just closed in Boca West. And shout out to Amy for when I was in the hospital in the trauma section. Amy took care of them, so we just closed last week. And the other closing, it's a rental closing, and she gave me the name of the person that referred me, and I have no idea who that person is.
I see.
But because I talk to turtles and ants, I mean, you know, whatever, and I give my card to everybody, she just referred
Awesome.
me, and we closed last week.
Awesome.
Two closings in one day.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm thrilled that you had closings. Tell me why those are wins and why is it valuable for the rest of us?
Communication, talk to everybody and anybody you know.
So what you're saying is that you got a referral from someone you don't even know who it is.
Correct.
But you feel that the amount of communication that you do has such a big ripple effect that it comes back to you, you don't even know where it comes from.
Thank you, and you said that so well.
You're welcome. So is there anything else, like the other one, where did that other lead come from? Like why was that other one a win?
A good friend of mine, she refers business to me, and we built a very great relationship. And I met her at a physical fitness expo.
Okay.
We hit it off.
Okay.
And
Okay,
just
good.
my constant, keeping in touch and follow up and all that, and having coffee with her and whatever.
All right.
It resulted in her giving me now. This is the third referral that she's given me.
Awesome,
So
great.
it's a constant follow up.
Beautiful. Way to go, Joni.
Thank you.
Good, and I really appreciate, you know me, I'm always gonna dig a little deeper. Today what we're gonna talk about, thank you for helping me illustrate the point of our conversation today, is in general, who wants more deals? Let me see, I want more business. More business, more deals, more customers, more money. Come on, put them up high, let me see, make sure I'm on the right page here. Those that are not raising their hands, you don't want it? Okay, good, everyone is. All right. See, here's the thing, we don't have a lead problem, ladies and gentlemen. You know what we have? We have a lead follow-up problem. We have a lead nurture problem if we don't have enough business. Okay, what problem do we have? Lead follow-up problem, a lead nurture problem. Joni here just demonstrated why just continuous, and if you know Joan at all, you know that she's in the back of that room hammering away, right? Just like always on, always calling, always talking, always following up. Joni, how many nights a week are you out networking?
Almost every day.
Right, like every night out networking. Now I'm not suggesting that has to be any of you. Joan is a different animal. She's got her own program, right? Okay. The question is your program adequate for your needs? Do you have a program that is adequate to support your business needs? Okay? Because it's not a lead problem, it's a lead nurture problem. It's a lead follow-up problem. It's a staying in contact enough problem. And I know everybody here can relate to that, right?
Yes.
Okay, and the way I know you can relate to it is many of you will come to me, that person just sold a house without me. So annoyed by that. And I'll say, when was the last time you talked to them? When was the last time you made sure that they knew exactly what you were doing? And oh, by the way, are you doing it as the authentic version of you, like the you, or are you doing it hiding behind, like for example on social media, like spammy marketing? Okay, so we're going to talk about that here today. Thank you, Joan, for sharing that. Wonderful. Anybody else wins in the room? Yes, Lori, and then we'll go to Cindy. Yeah.
Okay, I have a couple. I closed on a seasonal rental. I found this guy because he was renting at a house we sold.
Uh-huh.
And he contacted us to see if we could find him another seasonal rental.
Uh-huh.
So that was 2 deals. Also, I heard from a client that we have a customer that we have been in touch with over the years. We sold him a house, maybe 3 years ago, and I think he wants to sell his house and move someplace else right now.
Wonderful.
So we're speaking with him tomorrow,
Great.
Wednesday.
Great. Lovely. So glad for you. Tell me a little bit more, though, why those are wins that are beneficial for the rest of the group. And since you're new to this, and I appreciate you sharing your wins, transactional wins are not wins. I mean, I'm not in any way minimizing or diminishing the fact that you're getting transactional wins, just so we're clear. That's your job. Like, you're supposed to have closings. You're supposed to have listings. You're supposed to have people that want to buy, sell, and rent real estate with you. Otherwise, why are you here? Right? Okay, so I want to go beneath the surface of why it's a win. For example, in Joan's case, she talked about business. I want to know, tell me why that's really a win as it relates to how you are showing up in your market and what other people can take away from that.
Okay, well, the one that we sold a house to, who now wants us to list his, it was maintaining a relationship over the years. He's a great cook, and so we kind of had that in common, because we like to eat. So, right? Yeah, he invited us for dinner, we'd take him out for dinner.
I see. So you went beyond the transaction is the point.
Yeah.
And you turned it into a relationship.
Yes.
Beyond the transaction.
Yes.
Right? And I think for so many of us who kind of understands that, but maybe has a hard time going from the transaction into more of a relationship with your customers, right? You don't have to answer, but I do want to reinforce the importance. You don't have to love everybody, and by the way, you're not going to be besties with everybody you do business with. I'm not suggesting that's what you should do. But there are going to be people that you create common bonds with, right? Like, who's done that? You got some people and you're like, oh my gosh, not only did I just sell you a house, like I didn't know you, right? You didn't know me. We went through this selling a house or buying a house thing, but hey, I kind of like you. And I think you like me too. Let's be friends. And then that friendship develops into something so much more than just the transaction. I think that's what you're saying.
Yes, yes, it makes a big difference. But I had this problem. I had a customer that I actually rented a house to in a country club. And the other agent, the listing agent, lives there and plays golf, just like my customer did. And they developed a relationship. So like I feel like I'm competing with the other agent now, because I mean they have a lot in common, but you know, I'm constantly calling this guy.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. All right, I want to pause you a minute. Irina, darling, I need you to do me a favor and slide over here into this chair.
This chair?
Yeah, only because I'm very committed to my content, and while you're lovely, I don't want the back of your head to be the thing that most people see. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
See, if I was sitting there, it would have gone right over.
Oh, yeah. God, what is the chair?
Okay,
now?
good. Thank you. I'm gonna put a tape on this chair
That's my
during
only
meetings.
one.
But I do think though, anybody else kind of feeling like what Lori feels like? Hey, I have a relationship, but now there's a new player, and I got to compete with that player. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, we did this thing, but now there's a new person in the mix. How do I preserve that so that when they want to buy, sell, or refer, it still comes to me? What do you guys think? Anybody else relate to that?
Yep.
What do you guys think? Yeah, Joan, you have a
I
comment?
just nurture the relationship a little bit deeper
Uh-huh.
and heavier, make more communication, and take them out for coffee or
Okay.
drink, whatever,
Right?
lunch.
Go a little deeper.
Yes.
Right, let's take this thing deeper. All right, let's really get into it now. Okay, we were at like level 5 depth, we're going deeper now. Got it. Okay, so depth of relationship. What else?
We're all different.
Okay, right?
different.
Right, so here's the thing. Right, here's the thing. You're you. See, here's the thing about it, guys, is that only you are you. Right? And only you and that person can have that connection and that bond. Right? And while there are other people, right? So take Ron and I for an example, right? Ron and I are both owners of this company. We are both equal in our leadership strength and capacity and ability. We both provide value and service for all of you, right? We both have individual and unique relationships with each one of you. Is your relationship with me the same as your relationship with Ron?
No.
No, of course not. Why is that? Because we're different. You picking me up? You picking up what I'm putting down here? Lori, I'm talking to you. This is your conversation. I'm looking right in your eyes. Okay, this is your conversation. You're the one who brought this up, right?
Yes, of
And we're
course.
doing it for the benefit of everybody else, but I'm sure that if you're experiencing it, others might too.
Yes.
Is this making sense for you guys? Right? And so I think, and to Joan's point, right, it's about your authenticity in the relationship. And approaching the relationship not from what you'll gain from it, but what you can give to it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And if you are the person that person really values, you'll get the business. And if you're not doing the job to reinforce and support that relationship, whether it's go deeper, whether it's be more authentically who you are, you won't. You guys with me on this?
Yes.
Does this make sense? Is this valuable for anybody else, you think?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Yes?
Yes. I just wanted to add a little bit on the deeper level, Lori, not bringing business into play, just truly making it about the relationship and putting that before business, and it will come back to volumes.
Yeah, wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful, great. Sometimes we're a little too commission breathy out there, aren't we? Sometimes we're a little too like business. And we forget that these are human beings that have their own lives and their own stuff going on. And when we invest in their stuff, the business just happens. It's almost like just a natural byproduct, right? It's kind of like social media. I know many of us struggle on our social media to put ourselves out there as like just who we are as human beings. And we get caught up in the, well, I gotta put business and I gotta put business and I gotta put business. And I really wanna caution you away from that. In fact, it's a proper ratio. I think I've talked about it, right? Like what I would like to see is like an 80-20. 20% business, 80% you. Because if you do it more than that, if your ratio is too heavy on business, guess what people will do?
No.
They turn you out. Okay, we got it. You're a realtor. Okay, somebody showed me, I forget, maybe somebody in this room, I think it was you, Melissa. You showed me someone you know, your guy in New Jersey, who put up on his social media, I'm a realtor.
Oh, yeah.
Right, like that was the social media post.
I did
And it's
just
kind
say
of
that.
like, okay, we know. But why is that invaluable for me? Like, I'm trying to live my life. I'm trying to do my thing, you know? And one of the things we talked about in the Top Producer Mastermind that I think is critical for everybody to take away here today is there's a difference in marketing between brand building and direct response advertising. I might want to write that one down here today because we're going to be talking about high value, highly leverageable content in our marketing today. My job here today, and really every day, but mostly today, right now, because this is where I'm at, I'm here right now, is to make sure that all of you have an incredibly strong finish for 2024. Who wants that? Let me see hands up all the way. Okay. How about a really even stronger finish for 2025, start for 25, right? Because that's right now. Here's one thing that happens during the last quarter of 2024. Most people take their foot off the gas. Most people take their foot off the gas. It can't be any of you. Unless you want 2025 to start off slow. Nobody here wants that, right? We all want 2025 to like rocket us into the possibilities that next year holds. Well, I mean, we've been talking about this for a long time, but man, do not take your foot off the gas right now. By the way, super hard, isn't it? Like all these distractions are coming up. Whose calendar is getting busy with holiday parties and plans for this and things for that, right? Okay, good thing we're in a social business. We need to be going to all those parties. We need to be out there doing our networking, but we need to do it with real intention. Make sure that everything is intentional about accelerating this quarter. Y'all with me on this? What?
Yes. Yes.
We got to get up and do jumping jacks or something? Y'all with me?
Yes.
Okay, all right, I know it's rainy and you're kind of like maybe you're still a little snoozed. Okay, let's get after it here today. Okay, wins. Anybody else? Yes, regular.
Maybe like a month ago, I shared that I was at the beauty salon and my hairdresser said, hey, Brandy is looking for a house. Maybe you guys can connect. But she says, no, I'm working with a realtor and no problem. I shared with her some information. I said, no obligation. If you have any questions, call me. Fast forward 4 months, she calls me. I take her out to a couple of properties. Within a week, she was under contract, and we just closed last week for 1.2 million, which is the highest sale that I've had, I think, ever.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's the highest one. The highest one. I've gotten close, but it hasn't been like 1.2. I've gotten like 1 million.
Yeah.
And the moral of the story is that even if you're not getting anything out of it, still provide the value because
Yeah.
you never know.
Right.
I didn't even have to ask her for a review. We closed the next morning. I had a review on Google, and I'm sure the Real Satisfied will go out. And she said, Regla, you did more for me in a week than the agent that I was working with for a year. Backstory, she was working with an agent for a year. She was living in an Airbnb, all her stuff in boxes. She had to move out every time the owner was coming down to visit. So it was a real big hassle. And just the fact that, that she said that to me meant a lot, because I did ask her what was the issue with the other agent. She said, didn't communicate. I had to do all the searches, and also when we did have a showing, she wouldn't call the agent to find out all the information about the house. I would have to ask, and then she would say, oh, I don't know. So 3 important things to remember, that it might not seem like a big deal, but it matters.
Yeah, wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
love that. Okay. Gosh, it's so easy to win. I mean, my gosh, did you just hear a $1.2 million deal just fell out of the sky? Now, it didn't just fall out of the sky. I'm not diminishing the fact that you've been working away at this for such a long time and are an incredible professional at what you do, right? But just like that, haircut. Is that what it's called for a woman, by the way? Haircut?
Yeah,
or is
but-
it like some other term? I don't know. What is
Haircut,
it?
it is a haircut.
Okay, haircut.
Hairdresser
Okay,
guy.
Hairdresser, something. Okay, haircut, right? Casual conversation about just a normal deal. And hey, I've got someone who's struggling to make it happen. They could really use someone like you to help them. Quick call, nah, I'm good, whatever. And you're just like, okay, no sweat. Like, I'm here to help if that'll be beneficial for you. And then she came around and was like, okay, game on.
Yeah. And the thing is that I always take my laptop to the beauty salon.
Uh-huh.
So when she's like, oh, I'm looking in these areas, I gotta.
Right.
I sent her an email.
Like,
I
boom.
sent her a text. Boom.
Right.
The other also thing that kind of to go with what you were saying, we closed. A couple of days later, he says, oh, the owner, he shut off the gas, and he's like, now they're telling me that they're worse than Comcast. They won't give me a window. I said, don't worry about it. They'll give you a 30-minute window. I'm 25 minutes away. You call me, and I will sit there with my laptop all day and wait for them to come.
Sweet.
Because it's not just when the transaction ends, and I
Correct.
think those are and he was like, oh, thank
It's
you,
about
thank
the
you, thank you.
relationship.
Yeah.
By the way, this person worked in the salon?
She was the receptionist.
Okay.
So you wouldn't, this is the other thing, don't judge a book by its cover, because she does it for fun. She doesn't
Yeah.
need to work. She just likes to go there because she likes the atmosphere of
Right.
everybody talking. But she bought a property over $1 million.
And she gets her hair done all the time
All
whenever
the
she wants
time.
it, so it's a great job.
It's a great job for her.
Right, but think about that, right? Like, there's so many little nuggets here. Number one, who among us might prejudge a prospect? You don't have to raise your hands. I know you all will, okay? The reality is, we don't really know the truth about anybody's story, okay? Which is why it's so critical. So I've been going to the same person cutting my hair. She's my friend Corey. She'll be at our holiday party. She'll be the crazy girl dancing circles around everyone the whole night long. If you know Corey, she's been at my holiday parties for the last, since we've been doing it. She, I think, cuts Monique's hair and everybody else, right? She is the best because she shares me with everybody. And you know who talks to their hairdresser like everyone. It's like a freaking therapy session. I mean, it's for me. Like, we've been therapizing each other in my haircuts forever. But the person who books my appointments for me, they know me by first name. I call and they're like, "Hi, Adam," right? Everybody matters. Every single person out there in the world matters. You just never know who might be that next customer. And more importantly, who do they know, right? Because your circle is here, right? We all have our inner circle, then we go to our next layer and our next layer, but it's not about your database. I mean, I don't know how many people you might have in your database, 100, 200, 500, 5,000, it doesn't matter. But if you've got 100 people in your database and they each have 100 people, now you got access to 10,000 people, right? It's just simple math, which is why I want to make sure we emphasize the importance of really leaning in on the people we already have in our worlds. We all kind of look like outside of ourselves. You got to make sure you're leaning in there first. Go ahead.
Just to piggyback on that, I had a listing appointment on Friday night that came from somebody from our old CRM when I first started here.
Mm-hmm.
I took her out to see property. She never bought anything, but it was her brother's girlfriend's investment house that I went, and it was just because her and I stayed friends on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. And to Regla's point, Regla asked the person for feedback. What didn't work over here? And what did she say? Poor communication, poor follow-up, wasn't prepared. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Right? Gosh, it's so easy to succeed. Like, that's what we're competing with. It is so easy to succeed, provided we position ourselves the right way. So, wonderful. Give it up for Regla. Awesome.
I did want to give a shout out to Dan. Originally, Dan got them pre-qualified, and then after we were under contract, they said, "Oh, I want to use Chase," but Dan didn't give up. Like, he sent them the information, whatever. So Dan was the mortgage broker who closed that deal.
All right.
Way to go, Danny.
Way to go, Danny. Oh, let's just.
Regular was like, you gotta use Dan, you gotta use Dan.
Awesome.
Worked out. Chase was not giving them exactly what they wanted, and I was able to give them exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Yeah, by the way, just as a quick aside, of course, if anybody has any questions, needs, whatever, we've got in-house lending, so we can certainly help you there. And there's no obligations of any kind, just Danny's here to help everybody. But here's the thing, right? Like, there's a few different types of lending institutions. Traditional banks in general, Chase, Wells, Bank of America, right, Truist, whatever, are kind of nightmares to try to do business with from mortgage financing. If anybody has tried to do that, you know how hard it is to get a mortgage done with one of those big companies, right? Much, much, much easier, because the loan officer can basically really dig into it and create whatever is going to best serve that customer's needs at that time. So again, we're not telling people who they should get mortgage financing from. We can't do that. That would be steering. We can't do that. But we want to give them options and make sure that they know what their options are. So it wouldn't surprise you, of course, to know that as we week after week identify our Keeping It Real Agent of the Week, Regla, it is you again this week, our Keeping It Real Agent of the Week. And by the way, I just want you to know, like, we keep track of who it is every single week, and we, as much as we want to continue to recognize it authentically every single week for who really did keep it real that last week, sometimes we're like, oh, well, they were just it, do we need to like look at some, but Regla, like, it was hands down you were just it in September. You've already been it before. By the way, you were our Keeping It Real Agent of the Year last year. So man, you are just keeping it real on and on. Way to go. Super proud of you, Regla. Way to go.
Can I
Oh,
say
by the way,
something about
didn't
you?
your mentee just graduate
And my
also
mentee
last
just
week?
graduated, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I did want to say something about you. I think it was in September. I came into your office, and everybody was like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And you just like slapped me around a little bit, gave me some good advice, and that really changed. It just changed. Like I always talk about energy. I was in my head. I changed my way of thinking, and now so many things are falling into place.
Awesome. I'm glad we're partners. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have one more win in the room.
Share that on video that he slapped her around a little bit.
Metaphorically.
Right.
Metaphorically.
Right.
You guys in the house.
Right. Exactly. Any other wins for the room? Oh yes, right, Cindy, thank you.
So I have a listing in Boca that's been kind of just sitting. Brian and I have been working with the seller to try and get her to reduce the price, and she was very firm that she didn't want to, so we finally got her to price it to where it needs to be.
Nice.
And it was just sitting there stale. I actually had an agent reach out to me, Cheryl, she used to work here, because she's got two listings in that same community, and she was like, are you having any business? And I was like, no, nothing, it's not moving.
Right.
So I went and saw Ron, and I asked him if he had any pointers for me.
Right.
And he gave me some stuff, and I changed the wording around in the description, I changed some of the photos around and stuff, and I showed it 4 times
Nice.
this weekend.
Awesome.
So, and I have a second showing scheduled for this week.
Beautiful.
So the moral of the story is
Wonderful.
just trying to think outside of the box and manifest good things
And get some Ron sprinkle dust on it
Yes.
as well.
Go to you for a kick in the ass and go Ron for a hug.
That's right. Not wrong. Not wrong. I hug too, by the way. And Ronnie can kick your ass too, just saying. But the truth is, right, is that let's not get static. right? Like, we don't want to be those agents that are like, oh, it's not selling, it must be the market, right? Like, that's not what your seller hired you to do. They don't want to hear excuses. They don't want to hear that the market is slow, even though factually speaking, it's slow right now, okay? Although we're definitely starting to see some pickup, which is
She
good.
was like overjoyed
Right,
because
we're definitely
she's
starting to
newer,
see some pickup,
so.
okay? But we can't be those agents that are just like, it's slow. What do you want me to do? Right? Like, it's your job to get the property sold. They didn't hire you to list it, they hired you to sell it, okay? And you've got to do your job, and if that means that you got to go back to the well and be like, all right, what am I missing? What am I not doing? Right? It's real easy in a seller's market to just take some good pictures. Fuck, you could even take them on your cell phone, right? And put it up there, which no one here would dare to do, right? Take pictures on your cell phone. But in a seller's market, you could do that. We're not in a seller's market right now. It's not the environment we're in. We're starting to see inventory creep up significantly. We're getting into more of what I would call a stable market or an equilibrium market, even more to a buyer's market. More choices, less demand means prices, by the way, are going to start to maybe come down. I don't know. I don't have a full crystal ball, so I'm not suggesting one way or the other yet. It's just basic economics. But your job is to go outside the box, put some sprinkle dust on that thing to enliven it, to invigorate it, to get some action on it, okay? Anybody have any listings right now that are not active, that are not getting that little sprinkle dust happening? Good, we gotta do it. Ronnie's got some special potion apparently in the office. So go visit with Ron and he'll give you some of his special potion. All right, cool. I hope you get that house sold this week. Let's get that done.
Manifesting.
Outstanding. And then you're one more deal away out of your mentorship
That's
too,
the
right?
last one.
Awesome, good. Lovely job, guys. Congratulations. Let's give it up for our wins here. I do want to acknowledge anybody on Zoom. If you've got something, Zoomers, you got a win. Anybody? Anybody? Okay, I'm out. All right. So, like we typically do, let's hear from the team today. Let's hear what everybody's got. Danny, since we're talking about mortgages, what's happening in mortgages today?
Well, I'll start with my couple of quick wins, piggyback off of Regla. Today will be, as we started this mortgage venture, today will be our 10th closing. And 7 of them have been from inside agents. So I appreciate you bringing everything to me, keep bringing it to me, we'll get them closed. I think every one of them has closed on the day it was supposed to close. Not necessarily at the time it was supposed to close, but on the day it was supposed to close. So we're starting.
So Dan, you're 7 out of 7 in the office on closing day.
On closing day.
That's
yeah.
awesome. Have you had to like solve any difficult problems, difficult borrowers, challenging situations?
Hurricanes. We're
Right.
dealing with,
So
yeah.
batting 1,000, 7 for 7. That's awesome.
So
Fantastic.
yeah, I appreciate it. So keep bringing them to me. We'll get them closed for you. We'll get them closed on time. And I believe every customer has been very happy. So that's
Awesome.
The 10-year treasury is still rising. When we started this back in Marchish, 10-year was about 4.1. It's gotten up to 4.6. It's gotten down to 3.6. We're back at 4.1 right now. That puts your 30-year fixed rate mortgage on a perfect scenario about 6.5, 6.65. So we're definitely rising right now. So get that locked in. My mortgage market report will go out today. If anybody has any questions, come in and see me.
Cool. All right. Very good. Thank you so much, Danny. Appreciate it. Ronnie, what do you have for the group this week?
So, good morning, Monday.
Morning.
All right, so this week on Wednesday at 2 o'clock, we're doing Understanding Your Comp Analysis. For those of you that are not comfortable doing a comp analysis or communicating value to your buyers and or your sellers, great opportunity to spend some time with me and learn all about that. We do have coaching sessions on Tuesday and Thursday this week. I am moving everybody on Thursday, so if you have a Thursday session with me, I am moving you to either today, tomorrow, or Wednesday. Monique and I will be out of town on Thursday and Friday. So I just want to make sure that I do get everybody on my schedule to have a one-on-one with me this week. I don't want to miss anybody. So I've already reached out to most of you. If I haven't, we're going to slide you in. I don't care if we have to do it at 7 o'clock at night. I don't want to miss out this week. Everybody cool with that? Yes. Awesome. One thing I just want to remind everybody, it's something that Regula said. Has anybody else ever heard that I have another realtor or I'm working with somebody? Everybody, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Does that mean you give up? Be of service to these people. I will guarantee 80% of those other realtors are gonna trip up, they're gonna mess up. Be that next person in line. Offer them support. Tell them you're there to help them. Because I'm promising you, that other agent is gonna mess up. And you're gonna be the person that they call. Has that happened to anybody else in this office? I know it has, because we focus on that. We are of service to everybody we can be. So don't forget, if somebody tells you, oh, I have another agent, no problem. I can help you. I'm here for you. Even if I don't do business with you, please call me. I'll give you advice. Take it to the next level. I promise you'll get business from them. Even if they do business with somebody else, they're going to remember you, and then may refer you somebody else. So stay focused on that. Don't give up. That's what I got for you guys. Have a good week.
Yeah, wonderful. Do not give advice to people who have signed a buyer broker or a listing agreement with someone else. However, how you language it will matter, right? First of all, you got to say, listen, I can't really give you advice because you're under contract with another agent. It would be irresponsible of me to do that. And I want to encourage you to consider go back to that agent and give them a chance to give you the best advice. Sometimes people just get frustrated in a relationship, right? Sometimes people are just like, they're not telling me what I want to hear. Meanwhile, that agent might actually be doing their best job and might actually be doing the job properly for that customer. The customer just doesn't like what they're saying, okay? So make sure that you really peel that layer back a little bit, okay? And right, you can, in fact, and so there is a little bit of a gray area, right? If someone has a buyer broker agreement, you're really not supposed to send them listings.
They didn't have one.
Okay, good, right? You're really not supposed to do those things because you would then be complicit in them violating the agreement that they signed. You can't do that, guys, okay? So I'm not taking away from what Ronnie is saying. I'm just making sure that the disclaimer is proper here on the nature of our agreements and relationships. That being said, listen, if anything should change with your agent, if for some reason it's not working out and if for some reason you're not getting the service that you want and you're giving them the right chance to do it, you're not just unhappy with what they're telling you, then I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you, but we'd have to really put it in the proper frame, right? Which is, I can't really give you advice while you're contractually obligated to someone else. We could talk in generalities. I could share with you what other people have experienced. You just have to be real careful how you say it. You guys following me so far?
Yeah. Good point.
It's a very important world. Like it's litigious out there, guys. We don't want somebody coming, like I don't want to get a call from a broker because that agent called and said you were interfering with their customer. Right? That would be a problem too. So just be real careful. But to Ron's point, just keep being out there in service to the world, right? If you make it about the commission, right? For example, Regla could have said, oh, you're talking to you have another agent? Bye, because there's nothing in it for me. Instead, what she did was, hey, I'm here for you, and should you need some help, right, I'm happy to help you, and to the degree I can help you, even though in this case she was not under buyer broker agreement, but if she were, you could say, look, I can give you some general conversation, and I'm here for you, and so if you want to run anything by me, you can, but you cannot give advice, especially on a transaction, right? If somebody's in a transaction, they've got an agent, and you start giving them advice on their transaction, it could be problematic. So just be real careful. And if you're not sure what to say, if that presents itself, call me, call Ron, call your mentor, and we'll help guide that, okay? All right, very good. Ronnie, thank you. By the way, how's productivity coaching for those of you in productivity coaching? Let me see, who's in productivity coaching? How's it going? Ronnie doing a good job?
Great
Is he
job.
helping you out?
Yeah.
Would it be useful on a daily basis to stay, or on a bi-weekly basis, keep staying engaged with him? What we're looking at is actually the lift that we've seen. Ron and I met with our growth consultant, the C21 growth consultant. We've actually seen a real lift for agents that are in coaching. Like we're tracking the data because we kind of do that sort of weird thing, track our numbers as business people. And so we're seeing a lift for those in coaching that do a percentage increase more business than those that are not. So if you're not currently in coaching, or you're not currently present for all of the resources that are available to you, and you want to lift in your business, I think it makes sense for you to take advantage of the offering that's available to you. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ronnie. Eva, you in the game? Yes, you are.
I'm in the
Tell-
game.
What you got?
I have my Empower session tomorrow, which is intermediate advanced app files. So anyone who's wants to learn something new, I guarantee you, even if you've been in app files for a while, I will teach you something new. So So we also have our Speed to Lead tomorrow at 11 a.m., those of you that are in our Speed to Lead program. And then Friday morning at 9:30 a.m., this week is Mentor Mastermind.
Yeah. Love those mentors and mentees. Been making great things happen. Any mentors in the room? I'm just looking around. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Love it. Mentees in the room? Oh yeah. Okay, good. Love it. All right. Thank you, Eva. Appreciate what you bring to the table. Monique, what about for you?
For the new agents, I want to welcome you. I'll be meeting with you all one-on-one just to talk about what I can help you with, events-wise and marketing-wise. I'm Ron's wife as well. We have our productivity meeting just like this, but it's going to be a Halloween theme.
Next Monday?
Next Monday.
So everybody's got to wear a Halloween costume next week?
They don't have to, but if they want to win some great prizes.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna be
Okay.
having some
Are we going to do like a
games.
Halloween parade
We
around
have
the
free
building?
games, and we have a costume contest, so come, it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yay.
Um,
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
And our, you can RSVP for that on our family page, and our Christmas party if you want to, if you haven't gotten.
It's
your
what
invite.
party?
Sorry, our holiday party, it's around Christmas time and Hanukkah. If you want to RSVP for that, that's also gone out in an e-bite,
It
so
has.
check your email.
Yeah.
And everyone's invited with a guest, so it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Indeed. The one thing we do better than really anything else is party.
Yeah.
So if you have not yet been to who's been to a holiday party? Right, I mean, they're like the funnest things on the planet. So we have our favorite spot. It's gonna be dialed up as usual. Everybody in this room got an invite to the holiday party, except if you're like brand new last week. You, sir, if you choose to be a guest here or be part of our organization, can come. Lynn, you'll be more than welcome to come. But the rest of you got your invite. I think we've already got 90 confirmed guests. So, and I just sent it out on Friday. So, everybody's invited with a guest. Please go to your email. I sent it to you, Evite. Just do it now, right? Like today, because the more we know about who's coming, the sooner, the more we can plan with our with our caterer and all that kind of stuff. But a blast. Invited with a friend. We strongly encourage ride share. If you plan to consume any alcohol, we strongly encourage you to ride share. And great, but we have our Halloween little get together. We have our, also we're doing our Thanksgiving potluck, which is always a lovely time. We sent that out, so you have to let us know what you want to make, what you want to bring, maybe one of your favorite dishes, maybe something authentic that's like uniquely you. It's always the best spread, right? We do a lot of lunches around
We do
here,
the main meal,
but
and
that's
everyone
always the
brings-
best spread.
Brings an appetizer or a dessert, so.
Right, we'll cover the main course, if you will, okay.
Please tell Gwen.
And tell Gwen what you're gonna bring so that we have like, a full spread and, we don't all have like the same dish or whatever, but all good. That's always a fun time. We also do our holiday party is Friday, December the 6th. And then, Monique, what else do we do? What's that thing where we do a gift exchange? What's that thing's called?
That's fun.
The White Elephant is
White
also a
Elephant
blast,
party. Yeah,
right?
it gets a little,
So that's hilarious, right? Like that's probably one of the most fun things we do
we steal
also.
everyone's gift.
Everybody, right.
So then we'll be doing
I
that.
remember what I ended up with last year. Something. Oh,
Give a
I ended up
pop.
with the thermometer last year. Do you guys remember that?
yes.
I was like, I got the best gift, and then I ended up with the thermometer. Meanwhile, that's like the greatest thermometer on the planet. So you never know what you might get. Okay, so let's all be in. Okay, lovely. Thank you, Monique. Alex is not here today. Laura. So Laura has been providing. I just want to reinforce for everybody real quick. So great job to everybody participating in our Reels. Right, isn't that what it is? It's Reels and the Reels Challenge. So way to go, putting your video content out there in the world. We are offering you some feedback and some support if you care to hear it. If not, that's okay too, but we strongly encourage you to consider. We want to help you be better in your marketing. And Laura's going to be offering some feedback just from her area of expertise. Laura, how's all that going? Anything to share today with the group?
Well, as usual, you guys are doing great. More people are participating every week, so I'm loving it. I wanted to give a shout out to you, Cindy, you over there. I see you participating a lot, and I absolutely love it. I also would like to say that Brian Jones posted a video recently on his own page. I'm loving it. Go check it out. It's like a whole movie. I love it. And another thing that I wanted to tell you is that as the weeks go by, I will continue adding more tutorials on the SP Connect. this week is the real stuff. So I want you to go on the real stuff of your Instagram page, and just to check out inspo. You guys don't have to create anything brand new. You don't have to be movie directors or anything like that. It's very simple just to create your showings or anything about yourself or your life as a realtor and the value that you give to your customers. So check that out just to get more inspiration. And again, you guys are doing great. Thank you so much.
You wanna reiterate how they do that? They tag collaborator, or tell them how to do it again?
She actually put together a tutorial that they can watch.
Oh, perfect.
Not today, but there's a
SB
tutorial
Connect.
that they can watch.
It is on
Okay, in the
SB
SB Connect.
Yes,
Yes,
if
in the
anybody
SB
here
Connect.
is not aware of the rules, you can come ask me. But I think pretty much everyone knows what the challenge is about.
Yeah, and again, all of the how to do it has all been shot in tutorials. They've been posted in the family page and they're in SB Connect. So thank you, Laura, for that. Very, very good. Okay, Jess, anything you want to share with the group?
No, I don't have anything for the group today.
Okay.
Other than thank you for always, referring and speaking about our brokerage to other people who could benefit from our services, of course. And so many people did that. Actually, we did finish 9th in the country.
Yeah.
Where's
Where's the printout?
Oh.
I was hoping she was
She's not a bragger.
So every month we are gauged on, every month we're, Century 21, right? So it's growing the real estate organization by bringing in agents is super important. We've got some new people here today. At one time or another, you were all new to us, right? At one time or another, you were all new to us, and now we couldn't imagine life existing in its current form without you here, right? And so last month on the Century 21 National Recruiting Board, Miss Jessica Corstane was 9th in the country. Let's give it up for Jessica. Doing her job, working very, very hard to make sure that we keep growing with only the best human beings. When I look around this room, that's how I feel about every single person here. And I'm not easy to, I'm not an easy guy to win over in that regard. So congratulations to everybody here. Let's keep supporting Jessica. Okay, if you meet an agent out in the marketplace and you kind of like them, and guess what, they're not thriving. Nikki just brought back one of our agents. She had been with us in maybe 2017 to 2019. She just went and did a little semester abroad, tried out a whole nother thing, and is coming back only to realize that it's super freaking hard to do this business on her own out there, and that's where she's been. And she and I met this morning. She's coming back to the organization realizing that she needs what we have, right? Regla had been at how many other brokerages, including your own independent brokerage, and life has changed for you immeasurably since you came here, for us too, by the way, right? And so just imagine there might be an agent out there who is not thriving all the way, and you could change their life. Please think about them, share their name with Jessica. Also, Jessica is reaching out to everyone that we're co-broking deals with, okay? Co-broke means that they're the agent on the other side. She's gonna be reaching out to them. If you have an agent that you're doing a deal with or recently did a deal with who was a complete shit show and an asshole, tell Jessica so we don't call them. We don't want to waste her time with someone who just isn't a great human being. On the other hand, if they were a mess because they just need help and they don't know what they're doing and they could really benefit from everything that we offer, then let's give them some grace and maybe save them from themselves and share them with Jessica, okay? But she's gonna be reaching out to them. Just as a courtesy, we got a good methodology. It's a very non-threatening approach, so don't worry about it. She's not gonna call them and start ruining your rapport with them, okay? All right, let's give it up one more time for Jessica. Way to go. Number 9 in the country. Let's support her to get there. Okay. Very good. Did I hear from Gwen? How am I going to dare pass you over? Gwen, what do you got for the group this week?
Good morning, everybody. This week, My Empower is launching a listing. So if anyone is working on a specific listing but has not inputted it into the MLS, we could actually do yours for this week on Thursday. So your listing can't go live until Friday, or you have all the pictures and everything. So anyhow.
Yeah,
come
wonderful.
Join me.
And if you're not sure how to launch a listing, or you're taking listings they're not selling, maybe we can help you upgrade that from the very beginning. And by the way, being able to say to a seller the extent of training and support and resources you have right? Every seller wants to make sure their listing gets sold, right? Most agents out there really don't know what they're doing and don't do a good job. You got a whole team behind you, so make sure you're taking advantage of it. All right, let's give it up for the best team in real estate, 100%. Okay, real quick, this week I'm going to be in Mastery Communication Skill Building tomorrow. That's going to be script practice, role play. That's going to be situational, or if you want some help converting better leads, I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. I've been out of my rhythm on that, so that's tomorrow at noon. And then we've got our Rising Star and Emerging Agent Mastermind on Wednesday. And we've got our Transform Group Coaching for Establishing Agents also Wednesday at 10 a.m. So want to make sure everybody is there. Great sessions last week. I'm back from my vacation, fully invested, excited about helping everybody get to the next level so we can finish strong and start even stronger. So let's make sure we're present for all the above. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Final piece of conversation, then we're going to get to our spins like we normally do. So let's talk about content. Let's talk about marketing. Who knows and believes that marketing is a critical function in your business? Let me see your hands up if you know it, you believe it. Who feels like they need to do a better job at it? Maybe not doing the best job I can do at it. Okay, good. That should be everybody in the room because we're always seeking growth and a way to get better. Okay, so I'm going to give you some conversation today. I might recommend getting that handy pen out, right? Note takers are? Right, so let's get that pen out. Let's make sure we're taking notes because you might hear something. By the way, I know in these meetings I share a lot. I know for some of you it's like, oh my gosh, okay. Like I can't absorb anymore. It's only Monday morning, for Christ's sake. I got it, okay? Here's the thing. If I say one thing or you hear one thing that changes something for you, then just implement that one thing, okay? You can't implement everything. You can't change everything. When you hear one thing, and you know what it is, you know when you hear it, right? Like it's like that aha moment where you're like, okay, he must be talking right to me right now, okay? Take that one thing this week and put it into practice. There is zero value for coming and then doing nothing different. Zero value for coming here, hearing all this value, and then doing nothing different. You might as well not even come. I mean, we love to see you, but you might as well not even come because it's just not valuable for you. So what's the one thing today that you're going to take away from this? Maybe you already heard it. Maybe you're going to hear it right now. Okay. So I always talk about leverage. Leverage means that I get more return from what I put in. Okay? And I just want to reinforce everybody, like be here now. Like please, whatever you're doing, if it's not being present to this, please do that because it's distracting for everybody else. If in fact you're doing something other than being here. Okay. So marketing. So here's your leverage. Leverage is I can get more out of something than I put into it. Because man, is this thing going to grind us down? Right? Who at times has felt like I've been ground down, like this business is hard and I'm working really, really hard and holy cow, how much more can I put into this? And I really don't feel like I'm getting the same return out of it. Anybody felt that way? I'm putting way more into it than I'm getting out of it? Great. I want to switch that for you. I want you to get more out of it than you put into it. Okay? Marketing is one of the ways to do it. Takes a little while. And so I want to give you a distinction between brand building and direct response advertising. Brand building and direct response advertising. Brand building is what? Who's got an idea on what brand building is? Go ahead.
Establishing who you are to the marketplace.
Okay, great. Everybody understand that? Establishing who you are in your marketplace. What else is brand building?
Being recognizable.
Okay, right? Like somebody, when they see you, they know what they're seeing. What else? Come on, you're all smart, bright people. You all know how to put words together and form sentences. I can stand up here all day and wait for you.
Kind of like what Nikki said, but getting your value out to people.
Okay, great.
Showing what I stand for.
Okay, great. Here's what I think brand is. When the market thinks of you, what do they think of? When people see you, right? When they hear you, what do they think of?
What I see Greg I think of coffee.
It works.
It works.
She's the caffeinated realtor. It works, right?
I was just gonna add to that, as a matter of fact, when people see me out, they'll literally say, oh, you're the realtor concierge, or I love what I do.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
So, and those are taglines, right? Those are taglines. Taglines are important. Many of you, like when we start off early on in your career with me, I'm always like, what's your tagline? What's your tagline? Some of you are like, I don't have a tagline. I don't even know how to come up with a tagline. How do you even create a tagline? Well, it's kind of a holistic experience for it to develop over time, right? I say just do it. What do you think of? Right, it's easy. That's a tagline, okay? We are your real estate family. That's our tagline. It's right there, right? What does that come? What do you think of when you think of that? Oh, they treat people like family. That's what it is, right? We didn't come up with that because we were like, let's really come up with something slick, right? We came up with it because over time, our customers kept saying to us when Ron and I were out selling together, just the two of us, right? Like, my family doesn't even treat me this good, right? Like, I really feel like family, right? I'm gonna talk to you like you're my brother, sister, aunt, uncle, because I wouldn't, if I wouldn't have a family member do this deal, I'm certainly not gonna guide you into doing this. We treat people like family. We are hence your real estate family. Okay, so that's a tagline, and a tagline makes it memorable. Brand is when the marketplace, and by marketplace I mean the people that see you, follow you, interact with you, when they think of you, what do they think of?
Real estate.
What do they think of?
Real estate.
Right? And I want you to really take it deeper than, and I heard what you just said, they think of real estate. Okay, cool. But how are you going to differentiate? Because guess what? There's a whole lot of other people out there that are trying to do the same thing you are. I mean, this is not an equal opportunity business. It's not. Okay, those of us that are willing to commit to it at a higher level have a greater opportunity. Now, it's equal to the degree that we can all go for it.
Thank you.
Like, no one here is limited. You can all go for it, right? The only limitations that exist are where? In your head. Of course, if you're in your head, you're what? You're dead. Right here, scary place to be. Get out of there. Okay? So all these other people are trying to do the same thing you are. Get what you get. What makes you you is you. So when the marketplace thinks of you, by marketplace I mean the people that know you, follow you, pay attention to you, what do they think of? What do they think of? What makes you uniquely you? Now I'd offer you today, quickly, real quick, jot down the first 3 to 5 words that come to your mind. When the marketplace thinks of you, what do they think of? Jot down the first 3 to 5 words that come to your mind. If you don't know what they are, they sure aren't going to know what they are. And you can't leave it up to chance for them to figure it out, because they will assign all sorts of judgment and meaning to you, right? Like, you know, Ms. Olson over there, Ms. Perticaro, excuse me, has, I'm still struggling to like make that transition. I don't know what it is. Right, like has a very unique hairstyle, as an example, right? Some people would say, what is that fucking hair? Right? Like I see her and I think crazy hair. What does that even mean? Right?
And that's how I started my marketing campaign.
Right, and that was how she started her marketing campaign, because her first card that went out said, who does her hair? Right? Because it's a unique thing, a unique attribute. Some people would judge it negatively. It's ugly, I hate it, who does she think she is? Other people would think it's interesting, it's cool, looks good on her. Doesn't matter what they think, because it's her job to shape what they think. Just like it's your job to shape what your marketplace thinks about you. And my question for all of you is, are you doing a good job at that? And doing no job is worse than doing a bad job. Because then you're letting other people form their opinions about you, and you're not in any way helping inform them on what their opinion is of you. When the marketplace thinks of you, what do they think? 3 to 5 words. Who did it? Who wrote it down? No one? No hands? Okay, good. All right, good. What'd you think? What'd you come up with, Jack?
Committed, determined, and focused.
Great. Does your marketing and your communication indicate that every single time?
No.
Okay, so good. There's a gap there. I would submit that probably the rest of you would answer me the same way. If you wrote down 3 to 5 words, does your marketing indicate that every time? Who else wants to share? 3 to 5 words. Go ahead.
Red Bull, cats, and my family.
Okay, good. Red Bull, cats, and family. Got it. Okay. Does your marketing indicate that?
Most of the time, I actually put out a short little video on Saturday. I was driving to a showing, and it was a gloomy, like miserable day, and I was drinking a Red Bull, and I thought it would be cute to put out a video, and I had like 4 people be like, "That video was so you."
Yeah.
And it was only like, I don't know, 12 seconds or something.
Right. So let me make a distinction here, because Jack came up with some words, neither right or wrong. Jack came up with some words that are kind of like value-oriented word when it comes to delivering service to the marketplace, right? Which is what we do. What do we sell? We sell ourselves and the problem we solve and how we solve it, right? You solve it with your words. Cindy, on the other hand, went with, well, this is who I am in an authentic way. I like Red Bull. I like cats. And guess what happens? The other human beings in the world that like Red Bull and cats will resonate with her. And guess what people with Red Bull and cats do? They buy and sell houses. Like, I don't really care what you're into. Red Bull and cats it is. Okay? By the way, that shit'll kill you. You should stop drinking Red Bull. Okay, but you know, I like cats. I didn't always like cats. Michelle has a cat that won me over. I still got the scratches. Y'all heard my story when I tried to do a little cat integration? Okay, but I'm recovered from that, okay? People who like Red Bull and cats are gonna jive with Cindy. You know what I'm saying? Joni loves restaurants and eating out, as per all of her photos of the food she eats. You guys might see her post and be like, Joan, enough already. I don't care what you eat. But she's not trying to market to you. She's marketing to the people who vibe with that. You follow me? You got to figure out who you are. You got to figure out your brand. Here's the thing. I also want you to be authentically who you are, and don't try to be somebody you're not because you think that's going to give you a greater appeal. Just be who you are, short of 2 things: politics and religion. Stay away from that shit. Just saying. I see a lot of realtors putting out, you know, look, we're in like we're in the season right now, right? With the geopolitical environment, like there's more political and religious shit out there than ever before. And you might jump on that bandwagon out on social media. I would recommend that's probably not a good plan for your business, okay? I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, I'll sell you a house, okay? Right, like business is business. And I'm not telling anybody what to believe, just so we're saying, I'm offering you some advice should you decide to take it. Yes, comments on this, yeah?
So I have some advice. So during COVID, I was on TikTok 24/7. And there was this girl, and every time before her post started, she said, "You want more? I'll give you more." And all I did was walk around for like months going, "You want more? I'll give you more." It's like she said it before every single video, and it's still in my head.
What does that even mean, by the way?
She was a gossip.
Ah.
She was a, "You want more? I'll give you more."
Yeah.
And then she went into her thing.
Right.
So if you came up with something that you just, even with a little tune or whatever it is,
yeah,
and you said it every time before your video, people are going to remember it and repeat it, and I love that.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other people out there who say something right before they start their video every time.
Yeah.
And it just keeps you
good.
Almost like a jingle.
It's a tagline. It's something memorable, right? It's a catch.
Ronnie always says, "You're relentless, Ron."
Yeah.
He says it every time.
Yeah. Yeah, so good. Want to really reinforce for everybody, brand building versus direct response advertising, okay? So brand building is, what does my marketplace think of me, think of when they think of me? What does my marketplace think of when they think of me? I don't care what you're into, as long as you're sharing it authentically so people can get to know you. All right, point number 2, and then I'm going to get in my list. Point number 2 is proper ratio of personal to business. If you don't share personally, people won't get to know you. They'll think you're a robot. They think you're just business. They won't like you. They will tune you out. If it's business, 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 they're going to tune you out. If, however, I can get to know you, right? I just went to Italy. I just posted a whole freaking photo album. Whether you like the photos or not, I don't care. I didn't post them for you, okay? But the people who loved it, the people who connected with it are like, "Oh, I loved Italy, and that sounds great, and I'm getting all these messages," right? It's just authentic connection over something people like and care about and are connected on, okay? So make sure that you're sharing yourself in a disproportionate amount as compared to your business. I think it's got to be 80-20. My advice, 80-20. 70-30 most. And I want you to pay attention. Look at your posting over the last 30 days. What percentage of your posts were personal versus business? And do a real analysis. And if there's just not enough data there, then that's the first signal to say, I just need to be sharing more. Okay, because there's one thing that's true about marketing. If you don't do it, it will never work. If you do it, there's a possibility it might work. But if you don't do it, you have zero chance of it working. Y'all with me on this? Okay, so that's brand building. Direct response advertising is when there's a call to action. CTA, call to action. What would a call to action be in our world?
Just listed.
Okay, well, not completely. Kind of not really there yet. Okay,
More details.
right?
Call today.
No, call to action would be, are you interested in seeing this property?
Yeah.
Right? Would you like a fresh list of the most recent listings that have hit the market in Boca Raton, under $500,000, with 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, a swimming pool on the ocean? Right? That doesn't exist. I'm just kidding. Right? That would be false advertising. Don't do that. But you get my point, right? You hear me, like I'm going to shoot a video right after this. I'm going to open up my camera and I'm going to walk around and I'm going to say, I just hosted another killer productivity meeting where I inspired my agents. Because when you think of me, what does my market think about? That dude's inspiring as hell. I know that's what people think because that's what they tell me. So I'm going to jump on and I'm going to say, just inspired my group of people again to get out, take big action, blah, blah, blah. And if you're an agent and you're not inspired on a Monday morning to go out and crush it, you got to call me. Here's my phone number. Here's my email address. Send me a DM right now. That is a direct response piece of marketing. All of you guys should be having a hook inside of your marketing. So what's a hook? Something that gets people's attention. Monique just gave it to you, right? Monique's hook was, you want more? I'll give you more. More of what? Like I even asked you just now, like that sounds really interesting. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know who she is. I want more. Give me more. Of course I want more. Who doesn't want more? Give me more right now. Okay? That's a great hook. That's called a hook. Here's the opposite of hook. Right? Here's the opposite of hook. Some boring bullshit where you come on and you're like boring as hell. I'm sorry, you can't be that person. And if it's the same old contrived, rote kind of thing, we got to really talk about your marketing, right? These ladies here, Tanya Marisol did like some kind of goofy marketing up here. I loved it. It got my attention. A hook is something that gets your attention, right? You could do it as simply as, hey, stop scrolling. You're going to want to hear this if you want to buy a house in 2025. I just gave it to you.
Hey, stop scrolling.
Write that down. Hey, stop scrolling. If you're buying a house in 2025, you're going to want to hear the top 3 reasons why 2025 is the best year to buy. I don't know what those reasons are yet. I just threw something out there. But those are the kinds of things we need to do in our marketing, guys.
I also, when something says, wait till the end, I'm like, what's happening at the end?
It's super easy to control people. Just tell them what you want them to do. You'll want to wait to the end for the big surprise at the end, even if there's nothing there. They watch the whole thing. Like it's just not that complicated, so we need to raise our awareness. All right, here we go. When it comes to content leverage in real estate, the key is to create high value, scalable content that can be reused, repurposed, and reach your target audience with minimal ongoing effort. Here are the highest forms of content leverage that provide the greatest ROI. Okay, ready? Number 1, so if you're not sure what to post, get your pens out, I'll tell you right now. Number 1, educational and expert content. Okay. Educational expert content. We've talked about it, right? You could go do a marketing update. I put a marketing update together on my YouTube channel. I did the market stats. I went to the video. I broke down what I thought it meant. I put up a 10-minute YouTube. Okay? That YouTube then that video then gets distributed via email, goes on our social, and lots of people watch it. Okay? That's brand building. It's not direct response advertising, but of course, inside of that YouTube video, I tell people, if you have questions about how the market might affect you, call me. It's always better to work with an agent if you've got questions about how this market might affect you. All right, way to do that, blog posts and articles. So all of you, by the way, may or may not know, you can write blog posts on your website. The website we provide to you has a blog function. The more content you add on the blog function, the more likely your website is to be found by people looking for real estate. By the way, you don't have to write the post, okay? Guess who wrote all this? My friends at OpenAI wrote this for me here this morning, okay? Just saying, not super complicated, guys. Now, I'm reading this to you. I'm not going to read it word for word. I don't suggest that you take a blog post and then word for word it. You can do some simple modifications, make it yours. All right,
Excuse
next.
me, Adam.
Yeah.
Now, ChatGPT and Canva, they are in a relationship.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's so many different tools, and you know, thank you for sharing that, Twani. Anybody has any great tools that are working for you guys, share them with Laura. Laura is then going to encapsulate all the tools that are being used in our space and then teach you guys, or at least make sure you guys know how to use all these tools. Okay. Next, guides and ebooks, right? Create downloadable resources like a home buying guide, a market trend report. Right? All of you guys have the ability to do something like that. Super easy to do. They're lead magnets. They sit on your website. They could be there forever. You might have to slow down to speed up a little bit, guys. You might have to invest a little bit of time in creating your buyer guide, your seller guide. I had a meeting with one of our agents last week after our top producer group meeting where he came and he showed me, he's like, hey, I built this great buyer's guide. What do you think of it? I built this great seller guide. Did it take him some time? Of course. But once he's done it, it's done. And now he can use that as a lead magnet. All right, number 2, I'm going to say it again. ChatGPT wrote this. I didn't, just saying. Number 2 is what? Starts with a V, ends with an O. Video. Bingo. Video content. Property tours and virtual walkthroughs. Ideally, you're all walking through real estate like on the daily. Real easy to get your camera out and just say, hey guys, I'm in 123 Main Street today. Just want to walk you through this property real quick as I'm walking through it. A couple of things I saw that are really great about this house. If you're thinking about buying a house in 2025 and you want to talk about what you're looking for, give me a call. Simple. Okay. Educational YouTube channel. Just told you what I just did. Live streaming. Any of you could go live inside of your Instagram, your YouTube, what have you, and just talk about what's going on in the market or talk about what you're doing right then and there. It's a great way to create good content. Number 3, social media, Instagram and Facebook stories and reels, short engaging video snippets such as tips for sellers or behind the scenes content can capture attention quickly and drive traffic to your listings and websites. Okay.
Adam.
Yeah.
Just one more thing, like, I do write a lot of ebooks for real estate agents on my website, and I have a few for free if you guys want. I do a lot of social media, and on my one of my ebooks is just it's called the real estate social media influencer. I'm just translated because the title was in Portuguese, but I have it in English. And I have a lot of like video ideas, how many times a day you can post, how can you organize yourself to separate like 1 or 2 days a week because you guys have things to do, and how to optimize your time as well. So if you guys want that, I already have it ready to go. You just give me your email and I send it to you.
Awesome. Thank you. By the way, because you came in late, I didn't get to introduce you. Everybody say hi. Twani Lauria has joined us here from another Century 21 office. Glad to have you. Has been helping agents, is an agent herself, but is also a giver here for the rest of you guys. Glad to have you. Email marketing newsletters, right? We're all maximizing our email marketing and newsletter. That's an easy no-brainer. Client testimonials, case studies. Make sure you're building on your client testimonials and or your case studies, okay? By the way, I'm just running through the list here real quick. My advice would be just jot things down. If you want to talk to me about it in further detail, we can do that. If you want to talk to Laura or any of us about it, we can. Paid advertising. I'm frankly not a huge fan right now of running Facebook ads or Instagram ads or YouTube ads, only because I think that the bulk of your business is going to come from your sphere of influence anyway, and I want to make sure everybody here is leaning in on the stuff that's so much easier to do with the people that already know you and like you. You just got to make sure that they fully trust you because you're staying in touch with them on a more frequent basis. All right, so the highest ROI forms, and I skipped over a few because for time. Highest ROI, okay? Not me, ChatGPT said, you've heard me say it. Number 1 is video. It's the highest ROI. What did I just say it is?
Video.
Video is what?
The highest ROI.
Which marketing platform is the highest ROI? Video. Let's all say it together. Video is the highest ROI. Guess who needs to do more video? Go ahead, raise your hand if that's you. Good. Simple. Here's my phone. Hi, phone. Here's what I'm talking about. Stop recording. Send it. Don't think so much. Press record. Punch fear in the face. Let's go. Number 2, automated email marketing. Ideally, you're all crushing it because we've set you up. Number 3, client testimonials and case studies. All right, who's ready to maximize their marketing? What?
Me.
Good. Who's ready to have an awesome week in the real estate business?
Me.
Let's go get it. Give yourselves a hand.